lovely ball. Wirtz, yes! It's his first Liverpool goal!
Florian Wirtz's first Premier League goal for Liverpool felt like more than just a number on the score sheet. It felt like a release for him, for his teammates, and for the fans at Anfield who have been waiting to see why the club spent such a huge amount of money to bring him to England.
Wirtz was outstanding, causing all kinds of problems. He now looks like he's
found his feet, hasn't he?
Found his feet.
The truth is, life in the Premier League hasn't been easy for Wirtz so far.
Another player that there have been questions about is Florian Wirtz. I mean, are we just looking at a young player coming to terms with the pace and the physicality of the Premier League? Or is there a bigger problem there, do you think?
Liverpool paid around £116 million to sign him from Bayer Leverkusen. And with that kind of fee comes serious pressure. Bayern Munich and Manchester City wanted him too, which only made the expectations even higher.
Big talent, done fantastic for Xabi Alonso at Leverkusen.
He is going to be the guy, he could be the guy to take them again to that next level from where they were.
On top of that, this was his first time living outside of Germany. New country, new league, new physical demands.
So you're moving everybody in, and it's an upheaval. You know, it's part of the job. We've all done it. But sometimes you don't know how it affects players differently. It takes them a little bit longer.
Wirtz, too early to tell. I think he's obviously got quality, hasn't he? The only thing I'd say is, I'm sure he'll come good. We know he's got quality, but the question will be, is he a £115 million player? I think he'll eventually show that, but you want to be one of the best players in the league for that, don't you?
I think he just has to get up. I think the physicality can catch players up, but I think he's got enough quality to be a hit.
English football can be brutal, especially for creative players. The pace is faster, the duels are harder, and you get far less time on the ball.
Why do you think Arne Slot's made the decision to put Wirtz on the bench?
But you know what, it's difficult to adjust when coming from a different country and playing in the Premier League.
Liverpool knew that. It's why reportedly they put Wirtz on a special gym program to help him add strength and deal with the physical side of the league. Hopefully they put him on whatever program Adama Traore was on. Still though, it takes time. Now in the beginning he wasn't awful, but he just wasn't playing anywhere near the levels we saw from him at Leverkusen. He covered a lot of ground and did it with a high level of intensity. He covered over 1 kilometer at a high speed. Just 105 seconds into one of his first games at Anfield, he was already making clever runs to open up space. Playing as the number 10, Wirtz was marked tightly when Van Dijk had the ball. Instead of standing still, he drifted to the left, dragged his marker, leaving room for McAllister to get on the ball. A few seconds later, Wirtz darted back inside, pulling defenders around and shaping the play even though he didn't touch the ball himself. That run opened up the pass to Gakpo and put Wirtz goal side of his man, Tyler Adams. It happened again only a minute later. Adams started in a good position, but within 6 seconds, Wirtz had slipped behind him, perfectly placed for a cross from Salah. Salah shot instead, but the danger was very clear. Wirtz's movement was creating problems without him even getting a touch. That's the thing with the German. Opponents can't afford to switch off even for a few seconds because he never stops running. He's always looking for gaps. Even if his passing was hit or miss, his off-the-ball runs already stood out. And Premier League defenders will soon realize just how tough he is to track. As time went by, his performances slowly improved, but the numbers didn't come right away. No goals, no assists. And that's all people care about.
Ja, natürlich hätte ich mir natürlich auch schon gewünscht, dass ich schon ein Tor gemacht hätte oder ja, schon, keine Ahnung, ein bisschen irgendwie Scorerpunkte gesammelt hätte, aber ich bin, egal was irgendwer sagt, bleibe ich cool und versuche einfach, und ich weiß, was ich kann.
Rival fans enjoyed pointing it out. The 007 agent. Even when Wirtz finally thought he had a goal against Sunderland, it was taken away and given as an own goal instead. It all added to the frustration. That's why his reaction to his goal against Wolves was so emotional. Liverpool were already 1-0 up when Wirtz made a clever run in behind the defense. Hugo Ekitike spotted it and slid the ball through, and Wirtz finished the ball calmly past Jose Sa. Then of course came a celebration, a fist pump, a tap of the Liverpool badge. His teammates swarmed him, and you could see just how much it meant. After the game, Wirtz admitted that it was special.
Yeah, it was very nice. The feeling on the pitch with the fans around. I was very happy, and I'm still. So yeah, I like it. No, I was confident that I will score one day, but of course I wanted to start earlier.
A week before that, he had already picked up his first league assist with a smart pass that led to a goal against Tottenham. Against Wolves, his overall performance was one of his best yet. He created more chances than anyone else on the pitch. He completed most of his dribbles. He won a lot of duels, and he kept finding space in dangerous areas. Arne Slot could see the relief too. After the match, he said Wirtz's reaction told the whole story.
I think I'm quite sure about it. It was a relief for him. This I could see after his reaction, after he scored the goal. And the same I saw with his teammates. I think they were really happy for him.
Slot also made it clear that Wirtz had been playing very well for a while now, even before the goal came.
In football, rightly so, maybe we mainly get judged on results and individuals mainly get judged on goals and assists. And we sometimes tend to forget what else is there to do during a game. And I think he's had multiple good games for us.
The German really started to find his groove when Slot began to play him on the left in the 4-2-3-1 system. So he's a left winger out of possession, but when Liverpool have the ball, he has the freedom to roam. He can drift inside, find pockets of space, and link the play.
I thought he would play in that number 10, finding his feet. He's actually playing to the left-hand side, finding his feet into little pockets, not naturally on the wide, but in pockets. And yeah, they look a real threat at the moment.
He had put on another great performance against West Ham in that role, despite the fact that he didn't get a goal or assist. And now his understanding with his teammates is growing, especially his connection with Kerkez at left back. Wirtz's passing is becoming sharper, his body looks stronger, and now you can see the belief in his play. And that matters a lot, especially with Isak out injured until March. Liverpool need creativity and goals from other areas, and the partnership between Wirtz and Ekitike is going to be key, and the signs are already there that the two can be deadly together. Now of course not everything is perfect. Liverpool still have problems. Their game management isn't great, and defending set pieces remains a big issue. Wolves scored from a corner and nearly found an equalizer later on. That's been a common theme in a lot of Liverpool's games. But among those concerns, Wirtz is becoming a genuine positive. He's playing with swagger now, asking for the ball, taking responsibility. He looks like a player who believes he belongs at this level. Of course, he needs to keep adding to his stats, and Wirtz knows that. He's still figuring things out. But what should impress Liverpool fans the most is this guy's mentality and character. As we have seen with Liverpool in the past, they don't just look at a player's ability when they sign him. They also look at what kind of person he is, both on and off the pitch. And by all accounts, Wirtz is a very humble, down-to-earth guy. And when you look at his journey, you see that he is no stranger at bouncing back from setbacks. Which is great to see because this guy has been seen as a generational talent ever since his days on the Koln under-17 team. Wirtz joined their youth team in 2010, and he remained there until he was signed by Bayer Leverkusen in January of 2020. During his time at Koln, he progressed through the youth teams, getting better and better, and establishing himself as a promising talent in German football. In the 2018-2019 season, he was just 15 years old when he was promoted to the under-17 squad, and immediately he made an impact. He scored 8 goals in 10 matches, playing as an attacking midfielder. It was his performances that helped the team win the under-17 Bundesliga title, and his exceptional play did not go unnoticed. It was during this period that local newspapers described him as the best midfielder to come through the club in 30 years. Now what's funny is at this point Liverpool had actually shown interest in him. They wanted him, as did many other top European clubs like Bayern Munich. However, in January of 2020, Wirtz made the decision to join Bayer Leverkusen. He felt that provided him with the best pathway to transition to professional football. It says a lot about his mentality and character that he always knew what he wanted. He wasn't looking for the biggest paycheck. He was looking for a club that believed in young players and would give him a chance to really shine. So when Bayer Leverkusen came calling, it was a no-brainer. The club had a reputation for developing talent, and their sporting director, Simon Rolfs, had already been keeping an eye on Wirtz since he was 14 years old. I told you guys, this guy was seen as a generational talent from a very early age. The rest of the world is finding out about him now, but people in Germany knew how much potential he had. Wirtz started with the Leverkusen under-19 team, but it didn't take long for everyone to realize this kid was special. His skill, maturity, and confidence were miles ahead of most players his age. He was an actual wonder kid, not a fake one like Garnacho. On May 18, 2020, Wirtz made his Bundesliga debut against Werder Bremen, and at just 17 years and 15 days old, he became the youngest debutant in Leverkusen's history, breaking a record that was set by Kai Havertz. Then, less than 3 weeks later, he made history again. On June 6, 2020, Wirtz scored his first Bundesliga goal.
And the youngster scores his first ever Bundesliga goal.
And it was against Bayern Munich. He became the youngest scorer in league history at the time. The timing for his rise couldn't have been more perfect. That summer, Leverkusen had sold their star man Kai Havertz, and suddenly there was a big hole in the team's attack. Well, Wirtz, he stepped up. In fact, he actually thrived. He took over Havertz's role in midfield and showed a level of calmness and flair that you would only see from veteran players. He was pulling the strings from the middle of the pitch, despite being a teenager. Whether he was drifting into space or driving forward with the ball, Wirtz played like he belonged on that pitch. And it wasn't just in Germany where he was making his mark. In the Europa League, he scored against Nice, showing that he could easily handle the pressure of the big stage. That season, he made 29 appearances in the Bundesliga, scoring 5 goals and providing 6 assists, all before even turning 18. No one had ever done that in Bundesliga history. What's crazy is that his stats didn't even do him justice. From the eye test, he was incredible. He could play as the number 10 or out wide, or even deeper in midfield. His versatility gave Leverkusen options, and his intelligence really helped the team. Despite being so young, he understood where to make the right run, when to pass, and when to keep it. I already know that the Dutch Lex Luthor is gonna love this guy. What was great about him was that he wasn't just filling in for Havertz, he was becoming his own player, with his own identity. By the time that he turned 18, Wirtz had already become one of Leverkusen's most important players. Cause in the Bundesliga that season, he got 7 goals and 10 assists in just 24 matches. He was getting a goal or assist every 93 minutes. In Europe, he got 3 goals and 4 assists in 6 games. No matter the competition, Wirtz showed up. He was cool, he was calm, and he was always dangerous. In a very short time, he had gone from a promising talent to literally the heartbeat of Leverkusen's attack. I won't even call it a rise, he basically exploded onto the scene. Lamine Yamal and Barca's child labor factor have made it seem like it's normal for teenagers to be this good. It's not. Wirtz is just a special talent, and he had arrived. But just when everything seemed to be falling into place for him, disaster struck. In March 13, 2022, in a Bundesliga match against his former academy team, Wirtz went down. He clutched his knee, and the look on his face said it all. After the game, the news hit: a torn ACL in his left knee. Just like that, his season was over. For a young player on the rise, it was heartbreaking. Wirtz had been flying, scoring goals, creating magic. He was the one that was carrying the weight of Leverkusen's attack. But now all that momentum came to a screeching halt. And for a teenager who had only just begun to make his mark on the game, it was a crushing blow. And the thing is, the injury didn't just affect Wirtz, it hit the entire club. Leverkusen lost their best player. The one guy who could unlock a defense with a single touch was gone. And because of that, the team struggled. They had no creativity. Their attack felt lifeless. They were playing like United. The rhythm that Wirtz brought, that spark, it was missing. And quickly, Leverkusen began slipping in the table. While his team struggled on the pitch, off the pitch, Wirtz began the toughest battle of his young career. The months that followed were filled with grueling physiotherapy, lonely gym sessions, and endless rehab routine. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't fun, but it was necessary. Every day he worked to get stronger, to bend that knee a little more, to trust his body again, to be ready to return. As usual, when a young player gets this sort of a serious injury, there's always doubts. Would he ever be the same again? Could he still glide past players with ease? But through it all, Wirtz stayed focused, quiet, determined. He was preparing for that comeback. This was a very low point for him, a dark chapter in what had been a fairy tale rise. But Liverpool fans need to know this story because it was the moment that revealed something even more impressive than Wirtz's talent. It was his resilience. He wasn't just a wonder kid anymore, he was a fighter. When he finally stepped back onto the pitch in January of 2023, no one quite knew what to expect. But what followed was incredible. Somehow, Wirtz didn't just return to his old level, he came back better, sharper, more dominant than ever. And his timing couldn't have been more perfect. Just a few months earlier, in October of 2022, Bayer Leverkusen had made a bold move by bringing in Xabi Alonso. As I stated earlier, the team was really struggling at this point. They were actually fighting relegation, but the former Liverpool midfield maestro brought with him a new philosophy. He wanted to see more control and creativity from his team. It was a system that was tailor-made for Wirtz. And when he returned, it was like watching Alonso's vision come to life. In the beginning, Alonso managed Wirtz's return carefully. It was a slow, steady climb back to full fitness. But once Wirtz was unleashed, he became a monster. He instantly returned back to being the beating heart of Leverkusen's midfield again. And what followed was historic. In the 2023-2024 season, Wirtz helped lead Bayer Leverkusen to an undefeated domestic double, something that no one thought was possible, and he really was the architect of everything that was good in their attack. In the Bundesliga, he got 11 goals and 11 assists, averaging a goal involvement every 109 minutes. In the DFB Pokal, he added another 3 goals and 4 assists in just 6 matches. Across all competitions, he finished with an outrageous 18 goals and 20 assists. Not bad for someone coming off a year-long injury. But the stats don't even tell the full story. What makes Wirtz so special is the way that he plays. This is a guy that makes defenders panic. He breaks lines. He can glide past players in spaces that are tighter than a nun. Then he can break down the most terrorist of low blocks with impossible passes. Under Alonso, Wirtz wasn't just a star, he was his entire system. As one of the number 10s, his intelligence, his timing, his vision, it was all so important in Leverkusen scoring goals. They don't win the double without him, and the world started to take notice. Julian Nagelsmann brought Wirtz back into the national team setup, and the German, he made no time making history. In a friendly against France, he scored the fastest goal in German football history. He scored just 7 seconds after kickoff. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Germany ended up winning that game 2-0, and Wirtz had once again made headlines. But he wasn't even done yet. At the Euros that summer, he opened Germany's campaign with a beautiful goal just 10 minutes into a 5-1 win over Scotland. Now you might be saying, well, that's a stat pad session. Okay, when the stakes were highest, he delivered again, scoring an 89th minute equalizer against Spain in the quarterfinals to keep his country's dream alive. Both at the domestic level and in the international level, in big moments, Wirtz always showed up. The next season, he continued performing well for Leverkusen. He was still their best player. Even though as a team, they didn't perform as well as they did the season before, Wirtz was still getting his goals and assists. He got 16 goals and 16 assists in all competitions. And as I told you guys earlier in the video, he's very versatile. As seen from this graphic from The Athletic, he mostly played as a left-sided attacking midfielder, but he can play as a left winger, he can play more centrally, or even on the right-hand side. Slot is gonna love this guy because he loves versatile players. Look at Diaz, who played both as a left wing and a striker. Now Baldi can play Wirtz wherever he wants him. But like I said, this guy is at his best in the number 10 role. He does all of his magic in the attacking third. In the 2025 season, for example, only Doku had more passes than the German in the attacking third per 90 minutes. Wirtz is really good in the attacking third because of 2 things. 2 factors that I don't see a lot of people discussing. It's his positioning and speed of thought. His mind seems to work a half second before everyone else on the pitch, and he uses that to his advantage. It's like he's always one step ahead of the defenders. Look at this game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Wirtz checks in to receive a pass. Now the guy who was supposed to be marking him in Barrios was too slow to react, so Wirtz plays a first time pass and spins around him. Now when he receives the ball again, he has room to run into. He's also perfectly positioned to send a through ball to Frimpong to get him behind. I wanted to show you guys this play because we will be seeing a lot of it between these two just at Liverpool now. Here's another example from the same game. Look at where he's positioned, finding a pocket of space in between the 2 blocks of Atletico players. My god, Simeone really does play football like a terrorist at times. Anyways, Wirtz remains in this pocket of space and finds a gap in the box so that Frimpong can pick him out. He doesn't score here, but he had the time to control the ball and fire a volley to create a chance. This is why 47% of his shot attempts are on target. Considering he took nearly 2 shots per 90 across his entire Bundesliga career, that's a pretty good stat. It proves that he makes great decisions on the ball and doesn't just sky the ball over like some players.
And here comes Nunez!
Look at what he did to the San Pauli defense. He picked up the ball from Grimaldo right in a sweet spot, the space where he's the most dangerous. He takes a quick glance up, drives straight at the defense, megs the defender like it's nothing, before calmly slotting it past the keeper. I mean, the guy is just brilliant. He is very clever with his positioning and where he goes without the ball. It's very common to see him accelerate instantly after receiving the ball, giving defenders no time to react. And of course, with the ball, he's equally dangerous, if not more. Not only can he score, but he can create chances for others. He is the exact type of player to create something out of nothing. I mean, look at this Trivela cross against Dortmund, or this disguised through ball against Heidenheim. Wirtz is no longer just an up-and-coming talent, or one of Europe's best young players. He's one of the best players, flat out. He hasn't exactly set the Premier League on fire yet, but we have gotten glimpses of what he can do, the amount of problems that he can cause, especially in the Champions League against Atletico. For the early goals, he didn't even touch the ball much. He just found pockets of space between the lines and dragged defenders around, but that opened up space for his teammates. Then when he started drifting to the left, he linked up with Isak to create 2 big chances in quick succession. He almost scored himself, but Oblak shut him down. I've also noticed that Wirtz has a great connection with Ekitike. We saw it on display in the Community Shield, and then again against Bournemouth. He is still one of the best young players in the world. He is someone who can create and score. His superstar potential hasn't gone anywhere. It feels like a turning point for his Liverpool career. He looks stronger and more confident with every match. Liverpool spend big for a player who they know can change games consistently. And for now, Florian Wirtz is finally starting to show exactly why they spent that money. To see just how good his partner in crime Ekitike is, you have to watch this video right here.